Anthony as well. I would not be surprised at all. You heard it here first, folks.
Yes, do that again because I didn't fully start the recording. But just getting into it. But you can
Okay.
tell it here first directly, so people
Okay.
can know what.
Oh, are we recording now,
Yeah, we're recording now.
Okay, we're recording now. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you'll hear from me in this recording thus far, and when the news breaks out about LeBron James signing with this one team, you're gonna be thinking to yourselves, "Oh man, I heard it from Vida first. Vida was the
Yes.
first one to say this.
It was,
Mark Crown's channel is the first one to get the 411 scoop.
yeah.
I guarantee that LeBron James will sign with the LA Lakers. He'll not go back to Cleveland. He'll not be with the Cavaliers. He'll not go home. He's going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's going to be with Kobe Bryant. And
Yeah.
then I would not be surprised if they pick up Carmelo Anthony as well. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, because in the end, in the long run, everyone wants to play for the Lakers. That's like,
Yeah.
if you want to play basketball, you go to the Lakers in the end.
Yep.
Sort of how it goes, isn't it? And
Yeah. And even then, like, I would rather I would say like the combination of Kobe Bryant, and people can talk about how Kobe Bryant is aging and all that, but for a guy like Kobe Bryant, what I like about him the most is that he adjusts to how he's aging. He's not going straight towards the basket as much as he used to. He tries going for distant shots and whatnot, which I like.
yeah,
And plus, Carmelo Anthony is possibly one of the best shooters in the NBA right now. So
Yeah.
combine that with Kobe Bryant.
saw the game. He like parts of the game of the one there he like scored like a record for
Oh yeah,
Knicks or something. I just yeah, because I was at work and they had like when I used then don't have much to watch and they had like an NBA game on, so I just watched that one. So
yeah.
I sometimes wish I could know a little bit more about like basketball, but I mean
Yeah.
it's so hard keeping up just with like, just watching the NHL stuff.
Yeah, I feel you, and and there's like so many games, like what we talked about before, like so many games to actually keep up. And I think honestly, if they have less games, like who needs to play like 80 games in order to get into the playoffs? I mean, come on, you can shorten that out somehow. And plus,
Yeah.
at the same time, it'll be easier for people to watch, and plus, it'll be easier for players as well because they won't get injured as much, they won't get fatigued as much.
Yeah,
And you'll be seeing much better games, honestly, because again, you have 80 games per season. The shorter the short amount of games they play during the year, you'll probably see better moments, better
yeah,
things to come if they were to go towards that route. I mean, that's just me. Like, if that were the case of like NBA or NHL, similar to how the NFL has it, I'll be much more inclined to actually watch more games and actually get into the sport because I do like
Mm.
basketball. I try getting into it as much as I can, and sometimes it's just hard to have a full-time grasp of what's going on.
yeah,
Like I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. I don't really like Florida teams too much. Especially when LeBron first joined the Miami Heat. That's when
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of annoying ass shit from a lot of people like, oh, I'm a Miami Heat fan. Oh, wait, what? I thought you were a fan of the Lakers. No, I'm all for LeBron. I'm all for, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. They're my team. Three years later, it's all right, LeBron, where are we going to go next?
Well, I think they. I remember I was watching one of the NBA drafts because there was a potential Swedish player that was going to possibly go in the first round, so I was
Mhm.
pretty interested in that. So I was watching it, and I remember that they took a graph over the Heat, and
Yeah.
with all the players they had, that they said in like X amount of years the owners are gonna run out of money. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Because if they had like the players they had, like they're gonna run out of money, and
Yeah.
I think that's what's happened. The
Yeah,
owners
and that's the thing too, because like the way I see it, like like we're gonna be successful for a few years, but you gotta think of long term.
Mm.
Like you have these guys who are, I'm not like I'm sure every team out there would love to have LeBron James on
Yeah.
the team or Dwayne
Oh,
Wade
I
or
mean,
Chris Bosh.
I mean, I understand like hating the guy because I mean, like he people he should have respected like the Cleveland and just stay there and
Yeah.
been like I would have understood if he spent more time in like
Yep.
Cleveland and then maybe gone to the Lakers because I mean look at it, everyone goes to the Lakers, so
Yeah.
I mean people accept going to the Lakers. It's
Yeah.
like it's
And
understandable, it's the Lakers.
yeah. And even then, like when it comes to like LeBron James, I don't hate LeBron James. Like in terms
He's a
of like, oh, I don't
fantastic
think he's,
like
I don't
basketball
think
player.
he, yeah, like I don't hate LeBron because like I don't think he's like, oh, he's untalented, he's overrated. No, in my opinion, I believe LeBron James is probably the most athletically gifted player in the NBA,
Yeah,
bar none. He's I would say like in terms of athleticism, he's the best that they got.
yeah,
Like in some of the games, have like he would like literally leapfrog over players and score dunks or even baskets. Even.
oh yeah,
In terms of that, like I feel like LeBron's a really good player. Dwayne Wade's a really good player. I'm not really too much of a Chris Bosh fan, but the only reason why I hate LeBron James is because of the bandwagon jumpers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, like for me, I like Chicago. I like the Chicago Bulls over Miami Heat just for that reason.
yeah,
And then plus, even the Bulls, while they're a really good team in terms of defense,
yeah.
there's this one meme that goes around the internet that's like, I'm not sure if you heard of this player called Derrick Rose,
Yeah, Derrick
But-
Rose. Yeah,
but there have been like I don't know why he'll be injured. He'll have like this minor
Yeah.
injury, then he stays out for the entire
Yeah.
season, and he comes back for the playoffs. So like, there's this one meme online: who will come back first, Jesus or Derrick Rose? I'm like, oh my god.
well, yeah, I heard. I haven't been following, but I heard he's really good. But I mean, hearing he's injury prone or
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Like, yeah. Like, even when it comes to a guy like Derrick Rose, if he's going to be that type of player that has minor injuries and it's just going to stay out for the entire season, I like Derrick Rose, but I mean, come on. Like, if he's not going to play that many games and not put much effort into playing for the team, just get rid of him.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
honestly-
it's tough for like Chicago too. Like, how can you trust a guy like Rose when they know he's going to get injured and you know he's like their best player as well? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep,
it
and,
must be annoying having
Yeah.
relying on that one
and-
player.
Yeah, and even then, I remember when Heat had the Miami Heat. I don't know if it was last season or 2 seasons ago, but they had this undefeated streak going,
Yeah,
and the Bulls actually stopped it without Derrick Rose being on the team. They used their own players, like their own starters,
yeah,
and they actually ended the Miami Heat winning streak. I'm like, wow, like they don't need to me anyway. I don't think they need Derrick Rose.
Well,
I think honestly,
they learn to play without him, and
Yeah.
then it gets annoying when he then comes back. He's a good player, but then you have all the chemistry with all the other players, and suddenly, like since he's like the playmaker, that must be like really hard for a team to just adjust suddenly to. Even if he is really good, it takes time to create those chemistry. So
Yeah. For sure, man. And in terms of like NBA and NHL and soccer, I mean football and whatnot. What are you mostly into the most in terms of sports, Mark?
I think it's like a tie between football and hockey.
Hockey.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite team?
When it comes to, I used to have football. I used to have, but in the NHL, I just thoroughly entertained by all the team. I have liked the Islanders a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so sad just seeing how they never really get better. Like they always try so hard to get those like better players, but they end up always like leaving and stuff like that. Even if they throw like a really good contract on that, but in the end they're gonna be like, nah, we're just gonna go another direction. So. But
I mean, it could be worse.
But I'm hoping when they enter like the Brooklyn Stadium, that
Oh yeah.
they will attract more people, and because
Yeah.
I mean, USA is really like follow teams that are, oh, now they're in the Brooklyn, now we can go there because their old stadium is shit, so now we
Yeah.
bandwagon more of this
Yeah.
team.
I mean, it could be a whole lot worse. You could always be a Florida. I mean, you could
Florida
your state or New York could always have the Florida Panthers. I mean,
Florida Panthers is going to get better more and more
yeah.
for each year. A lot of players are attracted to going to Florida Panthers right now, and also the Tampa
Yeah.
Bay Lightning. So the Florida teams are going to get like better and better, especially because
Yep.
Florida Panthers has the old Chicago Blackhawks GM, and
Oh
everyone
yeah.
loves that GM. So he gets a lot of players. So
Yeah.
there was first free agency day in NHL today, so that's what I've been mostly watching as well. So pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a time when I was really into hockey, like not too much, but I was trying to get a grasp of what's going on. I
Mm.
was like I was a New Jersey Devils fan before they did really good that one year. I
Yeah,
think it was either last year or the year before that.
yeah,
But aside from that, I mean, there are sports where I've tried really getting into because again, like wrestling in general, like wrestling's cool, but like I want to try and get myself into another type of sport.
mm.
And the only thing I've gotten close to that was like mixed martial arts, and I tried getting into hockey. I don't know, I couldn't grasp it too much.
Yeah.
The games I'm sure are very fun to watch. Again, it's just too many games within the year.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think a lot of people end up like being fans of a team, especially in hockey, because I mean, there's so many games, and it's just easy. Okay, if I have to follow 82 games of a season and plus the playoff, then I will follow this team that I'm
Yeah.
gonna root for, and
Yep.
yeah. So I mostly just keep up with the news stuff and then watch
Oh, yeah.
a game now and again, because I don't
Yep.
like it's placed like badly. If I want to hang out with you guys as well, like can't just watch NHL games all the time. Then I would never hang out with anyone.
Yeah, and and when it comes to sports as well, like I'm not sure if you're heavily into UFC or not, but I know like when I made that botch on one of my YouTube videos,
Yeah, well,
like
yeah, yeah,
like when I put Gustafsson.
yeah, and Austin
With two
was
S.
Austin. Was
Yeah.
did you put in? Yeah, I mean, like if, since I already follow so much of it, plus I follow StarCraft too, so like added on that, I don't really have that much time to follow UFC, but I do want to follow up on Alexander Gustafsson because he's one of the he's becoming one of the biggest Swedes as well. I mean,
Yeah, he's in terms of him being in terms of fighting, he's getting there.
yeah,
Slowly but surely, I could see him being one of the top guys there in his division pretty soon, in the light heavyweight division.
yeah,
And in terms of UFC, I've been trying to follow it more and more and more as I go on. Like there are a few fights that have caught my eye. Like one being when I think Rashad Evans went against John Jones, and then Silva versus Chael Sonnen was another. In terms of like a favorite fighter of mine, like before I think before he went to the light heavyweight division and got his ass beat by John Jones, I think like in terms of like a talker, I think Chael Sonnen was probably the best that UFC's had. Because just some of his interviews and what he says during the press conferences were really like funny. Problem is that even though he's a really good wrestler, he just keeps like he can't like sure like he's a really good fighter, but he just doesn't win. He doesn't win the big fights.
yeah. That is the problem. Like, if you don't win, then what can you do then? You really need to win
Yep.
fights, especially in UFC. That's
Yeah.
how you
Even-
get the better matches as well.
And even like Dana White has said many times, like, oh, this guy has lost 3 fights in a row. And sometimes when that happens, they either get rid of you or like, okay, if you lose again, we're not going to have you here anymore.
Yeah,
And one of my favorite fighters that was on the rise of UFC, his name is Uriah Hall. And I watched him followed him since his Ultimate Fighter days, where he had that really, really good knockout I think it was during one of the episodes of Ultimate Fighter. He had this spinning roundhouse kick, and
Nice.
he said like he hit the spinning roundhouse kick and like nearly killed a guy, like hit
Wow.
him right in the face. And like I was like, holy shit. And then right afterwards he says Hadouken. I'm like, holy shit, this dude's a Street Fighter fan as well. Like Jesus Christ, like that dude was in the zone. But yeah, when he first got into the UFC after the Ultimate Fighter, like he would lose I think 3 times, and I think Dana White's like, all right, we're gonna give you one more shot. If you lose this time, you're out. And I guess he got the TKO in the second round. But in terms of that, he's one of my favorite guys to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it must be hard, especially if you're like on a losing streak, when you know you can't really be on a long losing streak because you're screwed if that happens almost. So, I mean, that
Yeah.
must be like. So I wonder what you would do in that, like if you're on a free losing streak, if you just took a little break or like just went in at it again and maybe.
I don't know what it seems like to me when someone's on a losing streak and you're like, okay, like if you lose again, you're out of here. I'm sure it builds a lot of pressure for guys,
Yeah.
and that probably affects them going into the fight because again, they're nervous, they're pressured, and they might be inclined to make a few more mistakes
Yeah.
along the way. So I mean, for some people thrive off of that.
Yeah.
They thrive off of pressure. They thrive off of being nervous, and some people just can't handle it, and they end up losing.
Yeah.
Like one guy I know, Quentin Rampage Jackson. He wasn't the best fighter. In my opinion, I don't think he was the best fighter in the UFC. I just think people know him more for his name
Yeah.
than anything else. Like he had a few good matches. He had a really good match in Pride. I think he was against Dan Henderson or whoever it was, and he power bombed him on the mat.
Yeah.
Like flipped him and power bombed on the mat and KO'd the guy. And that was what he was known for a very long time.
Yeah. That's,
You know this? What was that?
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like you almost have to like put on a show. Sometimes if you do that, then you can attract a lot of people to know you, even though I mean you might not be the best fighter, but at least
Yeah.
you can get like known.
Yeah, that was what Chael Sonnen was doing for a long time. Like he would talk so much trash about Anderson Silva and Brazilians,
Yeah.
like unbelievable. Like he was like, oh, Brazilians are uncivilized and they don't take showers and they don't have much clothes and they live in these shanty towns. And I'm like, holy shit! Like he's saying all this crap, but guess what he's doing? He's attracting more Brazilian people to watch the fight so that
Yeah.
Anderson Silva can beat him down.
Yeah.
Like I think that's brilliant because it makes him relevant and it makes the fight bigger than what it already is.
Yeah.
And I've said this a lot of times when comparing to UFC. Like I think they take some elements of professional wrestling and use that to make money for their fights. Because again, like in terms of wrestling, it's good versus evil
Yeah.
when it comes to, or even wrestling. Like oh, the people pay to see the good guy beat the shit out of the guy who's talking smack or the bad guy. You have one of the greatest fighters on the planet, Anderson Silva, facing a guy who's Chael Sonnen, disrespecting, talking trash towards Anderson Silva and the Brazilian people.
Mm.
So he got the Brazilian people, Brazil as a country, Brazilian as, an ethnicity,
Yeah.
to watch that fight. So I'm sure they probably got more buy rates from that show.
Yeah, I mean that's so I always find interesting with like stuff like wrestling, for instance. I have never watched wrestling because I feel like I just hear so much bad shit about it, and then like should I really like get into it because I just hear bad things all the time. So I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm in the wrong age if that happens, and I don't really have time to watch all the old stuff that people say is good. So
Yeah. When it comes to wrestling now, comparing to what it was 10 years ago, I think it's grown a lot. Only problem is that when it comes to the WWE,
yeah,
like in terms of what they have, it's stagnant
yeah,
because they like what happened on Money in the Bank. John Cena became a 15-time world champion, and for me, I'm sure you probably saw my tweets.
Yeah.
I was really pissed off. Like, I was like, John Cena isn't a 15-time world champion. He's a 15-time ass sucker. And Dan the Man was pretty pissed off. But, yeah, like, when it comes to certain things like that, it really pisses you off. But what keeps me watching is the positive things that go on. Like, guys like, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Like, there are guys who are really talented in that company that makes you keep watching.
Yeah.
But it's just shit that you see, like John Cena, and the same old crap you see all the time, like John Cena.
It's sad. It's like, like it's you do it for the money and the fact that, like, especially with Cena, that he is so big with, like, the kids and that sort of stuff, and especially those are the people that also like want a lot of merchandise.
Yeah.
His kids and that sort of stuff. So I mean, it must be, like, always a hard choice to, like, please everyone. And man, sometimes you feel bad for, like, maybe the writers and that sort of stuff, that they always get pressured. Yeah, but you need to have enough Cena as well. You know that.
Yeah. And the thing that with Cena is, and that a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people boo Cena, and they expect, like, okay, we're gonna boo Cena. Maybe this will give like the writers or the company the hint that we don't like him.
Yeah.
The thing that most people don't realize is that when people, like, and I've been making this mistake several times, is that when you react to crap that John Cena does, or you boo him or cheer him, you're actually helping him because you're reacting to him.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if everyone was just quiet or just like, no, Cena, maybe we should, like, get something to drink or something like that, and just don't care and just leave the place at that point, and just be like, we come back when Cena's over, and, like, that would make so much more impact than just, like, reacting to it.
It would. And that's a lot. Like, the thing is, I'm sure a lot of people say Cena sucks because, again, I'm sure in the back of their minds, like, all these kids and women are saying, let's go Cena. We have to make sure that that's not all they hear. It's like, let's go Cena sucks, let's go Cena and whatnot. Yeah. But another thing that keeps me strong about wrestling is just, when I compare to wrestling, I compare it to music, because music has so many genres. Yeah. And that's where wrestling is getting towards now, because you have your WWE, then you have your TNA, which they used to be a good alternative, but now they're trying to be WWE light. And then you have a company like Ring of Honor, who concentrates more on wrestling. So if you're a fan of professional wrestling just for the wrestling aspects of the hard-hitting action, and you don't want to watch too many promos or outrageous storylines, then you may like Ring of Honor. Or if you're a fan of just pure wrestling, like Puro, you may be interested in Japanese wrestling, where they don't have, they don't have promos and angles or segments like overlapping the show like every 5 minutes, and mostly have wrestling. Then Japan's another good one. Like, sure, you can't understand what the Japanese commentators are saying all the time,
but if you're interested in wrestling, so it's just, I mean, they don't talk when they wrestle, for the most part.
Exactly. And when it comes to, like, guys in Japan like Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kazuchika Okada, like, those guys are the two biggest names in Japan right now. And they're wrestling really good matches over there. Another guy that's coming to the WWE soon, his name is Prince Devitt, and he's I think from I think he's from South Ireland, and he's one of the top international names in the world.
Okay, nice.
Like, in terms of wrestling, in terms of what I like about Prince Devitt too, is that he's separating himself from a lot of guys, because he's what he does. People will call him the cosplayer of wrestling. It's like one match, like he has someone do his face paint and stuff. Like, he'll wrestle one match, he'll look just like Carnage. Then the next match he'll look like Venom.
Nice.
Then Hannibal Lecter, and then the Joker, and then Black Venom, and so on and so on.
Yeah, that could be rather interesting. Like, I don't know how they will do promo-wise for something like that, but
I don't think they'll probably go anything like that, because what WWE seems to do most of the time is they repackage someone and they rename them to make them their own creation, which I hate. Because why break something that works?
That is pretty interesting, because like I remember many years ago when I watched a documentary about French comic book artists, and they when they came to they got signed up by, they were really great, and they got signed up to do comics by DC and Marvel, and all of them, they had really good talent, really good ideas, and they were just going to do reprints of like Spider-Mans and that sort of stuff. Well, only one person they allowed to like do his own stuff, and that's where Silver Surfer comes from. It was a French, and they allowed him to do his own stuff, and that was really great.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, Americans are a little bit bad that way. They're like, oh, we're gonna reskin it and do it our own way, and make our own characters, because you can't use what you already have. I don't know.
Yeah. Like that's one of the reasons why, like, if I ever get contacted by WWE or whatever, that's why I'll be a little bit paranoid, because again, like a name like mine, like Mike Vida, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
But they may repackage me as Mike Palkowski. I'm like, what the hell kind of a name is that? yeah, we like to pow. And you're Polish, so we gotta have Kowski at the end. I'm like, no, man, like, come on, like, go with what works.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, Mike Vida is already a great name for. It's a powerful one.
Yeah, I mean, it's short, it's easy, and it's easy for people to remember. But I mean, for a guy like Vince McMahon, like I don't know, I think he's out of touch with a lot of things, and I would not be surprised if they named me something like that. That would be terrible.
Yeah, I that's the problem with doing something for a long time. It's hard to like stay like fresh and come up with new ideas and keep up with like the rest of the world. I remember reading an article recently about the law part of America is really problematic, because all the like judges and all the people, they don't understand really internet and that sort of stuff, and have problem with like electronic devices and that sort of stuff, so they still use like the old style, because they can't understand like how to use a computer properly and that sort of stuff. And I mean, that's just a giant problem if you can't like keep up with it.
Yep. Like even like I work at Best Buy as well, and I see it like almost every day. Like I was with this old woman yesterday, and she was looking at getting like a tablet. He's like, well, did you read the newspaper today about what they said about tablets? I'm like, no, I just go on Yahoo.com to see what's going on in the world. So he's like, well, they're saying that when it comes to Wi-Fi, everyone will be able to get on Wi-Fi sooner or later. Like, I don't know, just stupid crap like that. I'm like, newspapers in general, it's just a dying dichotomy, man. Like when it comes to like articles and things like that, you can read it all on Yahoo, or you can just go on the newspaper's website to look at what's going on.
I mean, that's like what this like most of the, like newspaper here in Sweden, they have like they have parts of it that they close in unless you pay like a certain amount a month, and then they will have all the general news stuff, and then they will just close in some parts that will be in the newspaper, so that you either will get the newspaper as well, or just get it the like extra closed in content for I don't know, $5 or whatever it is in Swedish.
Yeah, newspapers are still going, rampant over here, which I don't understand, because like, oh, if you can look for a new job in the newspaper, I'm like, oh, really? I can just go on Craigslist and find some jobs there. Yeah. Or Monster.com or whatever. I mean, it's surprising to me that a lot of people, like, there are some people in this world that still live in the year of 2000 for most of their stuff. Like, I remember this one time, this guy argued with me that he has a router and he has Ethernet cables going throughout his entire house that connects to his devices. I'm like, you can do a thing called Wi-Fi, right? He's like, yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're wrong. It's like, mean, I'm wearing a Best Buy shirt, so I think I kind of know what I'm doing. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's the way to do things. I'm like, how the hell can you live that? Like having Ethernet cables going around your house.
I used to.
It would make your life so much. I'll
It's
understand
annoying,
you doing it
yeah.
for gaming.
I
Like,
I used to have it before because I didn't have like my router didn't do Wi-Fi, and
yeah.
like it's all hassle. So when I changed like provider, then I got Wi-Fi and that sort of stuff, and it made a lot things easier. Of course,
Yeah.
I knew that, but so
Yeah, like when
it's better,
like,
or unless it's I don't know if it's my laptop that's like dying or whatever, but I have having problems with my internet on it, so
oh
I
yeah,
don't.
like I've seen a lot on Twitter, man. Like it seems like when it comes to electronics, you have like a problem like every week. Like I know you had like a problem like 2 weeks ago with your computer, like the CPU is not
God.
working.
Yeah. Well, I sent it in, and well, it seems like what happened was I connected it to my motherboard, and then I put
Yep.
the fan and the heatsink and that sort of stuff over it. But apparently, what happened was the pin, when you put it down and you have a pin to make it so that it sticks.
Yep.
And then when I needed to take it off because I was doing other stuff, apparently it didn't like equip it didn't stack properly. So when I took it off, it just like pulled some of the like pins in the CPU and
Oh.
made them so busted them somehow. So now I'm stuck with paying for a new
Damn.
one. So it's all just pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
I mean,
like-
yeah. Unfortunately, that happened, but yeah, just how how the world works.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I'm pretty paranoid about myself. Like when something happens to my computer, like for me, I mean, I am tech savvy, but I don't know the ins and outs of computers, what contributes to problems or how to fix them.
Mm.
Which was why I was trying to go for this one promotion over there, my job, like for Geek Squad, because they fix computers in the back, they're able to diagnose problems.
Yeah.
And for me, when it comes to like promotions and stuff like that, or even applying for positions, like I'm not doing it just okay so I can have more money or
To
I can have a
learn as
better
well.
position. I want to do it just to learn because like for me, like when it comes to school and education, like I'll be inclined more to learning something if it's going to benefit me in my life.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to math, anything past division is just pointless. Like why that? Like okay, how the hell is algebra going to help you when you're at a 9 to 5 desk job?
Yeah.
Like how is that going to help? Or calculus or pre-calculus? I'm like it's not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to computers, I mean it's something you do every day in life, and plus it actually helps you in your resume. Like okay, like this guy knows how to fix computers and do installments on computers,
Yeah.
which is why I want to do it. Not only would it help me learn, but down the road it could also help me find a better job as well.
Yeah.
But apparently I didn't get that spot because it wasn't detailed enough about what I was talking about in the interview. Like what do you want me to say? Like what the hell? Like I'm trying to get a job. I'm not telling you my fucking life story, buddy. Like come on. Like corporations and just jobs in general, Mark. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it is in Sweden, but I swear to God, like it seems like most of the people that are in America are just so damn retarded about most of the shit here.
Well,
like
yeah.
like you weren't descriptive about what you're talking about in this particular question, or
Yeah.
you didn't get this spot because you don't carry your binder around. Even though
Yeah.
nobody else in the store carries their own binder around, even the person that's telling you that, or this person has been in this department longer than you, so that means that she gets a spot instead of you, even though she doesn't do anything. Well, the only thing she does is yell across the entire store.
Okay. Nice.
But enough of me rambling around. I mean that's what America is right now in terms of retail and jobs
Yeah.
out there. You just see a lot of people who are just too retarded to understand.
we don't. It doesn't work the same way here because we are not the same competitive side when it comes to work as much as
Yeah.
Americans are, and like getting promotions and that sort of stuff. Yeah, you will like you can apply for like better position and that sort of stuff. But I mean, if you are like the best, like in the end, you can't really like if you're friends with the like say the manager, maybe that would like help. But I don't know. It's more of like a fair thing here in Sweden,
Yep.
and
Yep.
but the problem is what we have a giant problem here in Sweden is getting a job is hard because the process takes several months each.
Really?
Yes. Applying
Wow.
for a job takes several months, and I remember like getting mail like 6 months after I applied for one thing. I was like, I don't even know what this job was. I can't remember this. That's why everyone's like, if you apply for something, you need to write it up so you remember it. If it takes like 3-4 months, and like this system is so dumb, and it's it's a really problematic thing here. Like that's why
That's crazy.
that's why I got a little bit like you never feel like you're getting anywhere because the process takes so long, and like so it's all about contacts here in Sweden and
Wow.
knowing people and that sort of stuff. It's been a little bit
That's
sad.
that's crazy, man. Because like when it comes to like jobs here, like you'll apply for a position and you'll know in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and
Or like if you
it
apply
should
for
be
this
that
one.
way here as well. I mean, it's unacceptable that they like have it this way. That like if you put it up like we have unemployment office where everyone can put up a notice. They should have forced them to like make a decision at least like a month just to
Yeah.
get the like down the process because it's just the whole process it takes so fucking long, and then suddenly uh, they end up with a couple of candidates and then they choose one and he doesn't work out, and then suddenly they start the process all over again, and it takes 3 more months and wasted time of the people that are forced to like do the employment process. So instead you have
Yeah.
people suddenly doing that for like if you don't find it the first time 6 months of their life down the drain just to like doing that.
That's crazy. And the other thing I want to know about, like when it comes to that, like if they gotta wait like 6 months, how does like employment, like do you like I know in the States, like if someone gets fired or something like that, they get unemployment or they have to file for it. Do they
Yeah.
have something like that in
Well,
Sweden or
employment is you have to like I don't remember exactly, but you have depending on how long you have worked, the longer you will get like if you the unemployment for. So like they have to tell you a certain amount of time before they sack you or whatever it is, put you on.
okay.
So if you're like have been there for many years, I think it's like 3 months before you get laid off and that sort of stuff, and you also get some unemployment after that, and yeah.
I see.
So and also it's we have something called uh, last one in first out. So
Okay.
if you're the if you have a company that have to like do things, it's the last ones that's in the company that's also going to get out get sacked by the company because they're
I
forced to
gotcha.
do unless you have done something like inappropriate or something like that, then
Yeah.
you're allowed to be sacked anyway. But
Yeah.
if you haven't done anything, then the person that's last in. So there's companies like that ends up being stuck with like just older employees because they're forced to sack the younger people because they can't. So yeah, it's good and bad at the same time.
Yeah. I can definitely see that as well. And aside from like retail and jobs and whatnot, when it comes to jobs, obviously you get money, and with
Mm.
money you can buy things. Uh, and with money, we can buy video games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything like later this year that you're really excited for or really pumped up about?
Well,
Uh,
I have a couple of things. I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition is dead given how I've been,
yeah,
and I knew I also have there's a game called uh, Longest Journey. It's a series. And they made a
I heard about
Kickstarter,
that.
a new game, and Dreamfall Chapters is coming out this autumn, I think in October or something like that. So
Okay.
I'm pretty hyped for that, and I know it was another game as well I was hyped for, but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
You?
For me, like a few games, like Dragon Age Inquisition is one. I gotta make a video about how much I appreciate Bioware in the future. I'm just kidding.
That video is so cheesy.
Did you see the remix video?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you have to
Yeah.
see it, dude. I made the remix video of that.
Yeah,
Like, it's hilarious. I gotta link it to you on Twitter soon. But
yeah.
when it comes to that, the Dragon Age Inquisition is one. Even though it's not coming out this year, Witcher 3 is another.
Yeah,
I
it's
pre-ordered the,
early on
limited-
next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I pre-ordered limited edition for that, and the statue of it looks pretty sick. Like
Yeah.
I like the looks of it. Far Cry 3. I mean, well, Far Cry 3. Far Cry 4 is another.
Yeah, I might get this one just because I remember if there was other games I wanted at the same time there, so I will just maybe. It's an enjoyable experience. It seems like.
Yeah. Far Cry 3 was a lot of fun. Like, I remember when I first played that game. One thing you'll really get submerged into mostly is the side content. Because, like, I want to take control of the entire island. So I want to do all these side quests and do all these side missions and get all these collectibles. And I really enjoyed that. Like, I haven't felt like that since when Assassin's Creed 2 came out.
Yeah.
Because when Assassin's Creed 2 came out, I was more motivated to finish all the side stuff and 100% the game.
Yeah.
And even though I never got to that point in Far Cry, I still enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever 100%ed a game before. Like,
I have, I know I have, but I mean, I'm like, I can't remember which one. I mean,
Yeah.
because I never really like, oh, I really want to 100% the game. That's never been anything that I really strive to do. So I think I have, but I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. I think I might have 100%ed Jack and Daxter 1, if you count getting all the power cells, the power orbs, and whatnot. Aside from that, I mean, other games I'm pretty excited about this year. I was gonna say Batman, but I know that's not coming out this year. But I'm really excited for Dragon Age, Witcher 3. I would say the game I'm really hyped the most for is GTA 5, and for the next gen and PC, and not because of the story, because I already played that for
I also
360.
played it. I mean, I wanted for PC, so because people love doing mods and that sort of stuff.
Yep. I think the game will be so epic when mods are in there.
Yeah.
It's gonna be unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I had a PC gamer here in Sweden. I got an offer after E3 from them to have 12 issues for 50% less of what it would normally cost. So I was like, yeah, I would take in that. So I was discussing Dragon Age Inquisition, and he said he personally as a PC, he was really hyped for GTA 5. Just because of all the mods and stuff, he was really hyped. Really interesting to hear. It's fun having conversation just with a salesman like that, and you just over the phone and be like, both are gamers, and you're like, yeah, we're just talking like we knew each other almost. Feels like.
Shoot, man.
Yeah.
Another one on my list as well. I don't know. Some people are gonna say shit about it, but I think Destiny might be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm actually looking more forward to it because it's like feels just like Borderlands, just like you
Yeah.
do to go to different, and it's like a multiplayer, and I enjoy uh, Borderlands because it's just mindless fun, is what I
Yeah.
call it. Just when I don't have anything to do and like feel like just shooting and just not caring at all, and you can just
Yeah. Like that's how I feel about Borderlands 2 as well. Like when I get really like nowadays, instead of like bitching and complaining for hours on DayZ about, like I hate Dean Hall. God damn it, Dean Hall! Fucking asshole! I just I'm like, all right, now I'm done for the night for DayZ, and I put in Borderlands 2, and I just start shooting that stuff. I'm like, wow, this is pretty fun.
yeah.
Like I think I got Borderlands 2 for like $10 on the Steam sale,
Yeah, I
and I would
also
say,
got in one of the Steam sales because I already have everything on Xbox 360 because I used to play with one of my best friends. We used to
yeah,
like that's the game we bonded on. We just
yeah,
like he came over and we just played it for I don't know how long. I think the longest we have gotten is like starting like 3 in the afternoon and ended like 3 in the morning.
oh shit, dude,
and like the only thing we stopped for like go bathroom just or like eating food and stuff like that. That's like the only
yeah,
thing, and we're just having fun with that, and those are good times.
yeah, shit, man, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, co-op
Like we
stuff
we we
is usually like
yeah, we definitely got to do a co-op of Borderlands 2, man,
yeah. I haven't played
because
it
I
in a while,
have
so we're
yeah.
gonna be down for that.
Yeah, because like I mean, well, I got Borderlands 2. I'm like I don't have anyone to play with, and like you're like, oh, I have it. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
Like if we can get a full party together, that'd be pretty awesome. Like I know you have it. Anthony has it. I think you were in that one stream, right, when he invaded that game.
Yeah.
I think it was Lambert's game.
Yeah, Lambert was playing, yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we can all play. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it really depends on when everyone's free.
Yeah.
But
Right.
aside from that, for this year, I think I mean there isn't really too much I'm excited for about this year because most of the games I really want to get, like truly want to get, are coming out in 2015 or they don't have a release date yet.
Hmm.
But I'm really pumped about Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. Like that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I that's one of the games the original I have played the most because I had it on my laptop. I had it on an emulator, so I
Yeah.
played it through many times. So it's really a game I have played a lot. So I it's going to be fun. I'm definitely gonna get it when that comes
Yeah.
out.
Like I remember, like but this was before I got X and Y. But I like you remember like we were talking about in the show today, like oh like people don't like technology changes, but people refuse to evolve with it.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys like oh my god, Pokemon's never been the same since Blue, Red, and Gold and Silver. Fuck these games, man! Like they
Yeah.
know what the hell they're doing. Like nothing's never gonna be better than the Generation 1 and 2. Come on. So I
for
played
me,
X
it's
and Y
Emerald.
and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What was
for,
that?
For me, it's like I probably would say like Emerald and Gold and Silver are more the ones I love the most of the.
Yeah.
I like the first like Blue and Red and that sort of stuff, but I enjoyed both of the other more because I really enjoy the Pokemons both in like Johto region and
Mhm.
the Sapphire or Emerald region. I can't remember. Sinnoh, I think. Who cares? It's complicated names.
But in terms of like I played X and Y. That was the first one I really got into a lot. Like I really enjoyed that game
Mm.
just from the fact like oh they brought the Generation 1 Pokemon back and they had Mega Evolutions. I'm like okay this is bringing back the 5-year-old that's in me.
Like my only problem is that since they added like you get like XP share and it shares to everyone.
Oh yeah.
And if they didn't level the like the trainers properly because of it.
Yep.
So if they had leveled them every like higher, then it would have been like more awesome. I think that
Yeah.
was an issue that they like, because I was over leveled when I got to the final 4, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm just gonna blitz through this. I did when a final champion. I didn't get to use one of like some of my Pokemon in that fight. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is how easy this would go.
Yeah. Like that's definitely one gripe I had about it. Like it was just too easy, and I think because of and that's with most games in general that I've seen today. Like they make games so easy in terms of the checkpoint system and all.
Yeah.
GTA 5 was like probably like ever since Pokemon, like I would say GTA 5 is the best example of that. Like if you were to play like GTA Vice City,
GTA
you
5
died.
was so fucking easy. Jesus
I know.
Christ, that game. I don't like all those special abilities. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think I ever really used them at all. I think unless you like, there was one point where like, what is it? Francis is the crazy one word, or is it?
I think
no,
Trevor was the crazy one.
Trevor, when like he automatically put it on, then I used it because like the game forced you into to use his, like him
Yeah.
taking less damage. But I mean, apart from that, I didn't use any of it because I mean, I didn't see the point to use it because it were already easy. So
Yep. And even then, like another thing too is the stealth. Like, oh, there's level ups for stealth. And like, when have you used stealth in the game? Like, never.
yeah, it's just like
And
Call of Duty, the newest one. Oh my god,
Yeah.
we have a stealth section, and it's just you running from the people. It's just you running, and it ends in you have being in a tank and killing millions of people. Be like, that is the stealth section of the game. It's revolutionary.
Yeah.
Just like Assassin's Creed will, for first time ever,
Like,
have cover system, and you can actually crouch down and use stealth mode or whatever it is. I mean, why did it take so fucking long for them to realize something like that? How many games?
Yeah, like like a lot of like most of the time now, it seems like stealth and video games are there's a decline in stealth in video games nowadays. Like, because a lot of people like they play like a Call of Duty, it's like, all right, I want everything handed to me.
Yeah.
Everything handed to me, and I'm like, and the thing is, like, even though I'm so shit at stealth games. Like, if you saw me play Metal Gear Solid, it would probably live up to how DSP played Metal Gear Solid. Aside from me not hating on Kojima, like it's just I'm bad at stealth games. Like I get caught, or I die easily and whatnot. But I do appreciate stealth games because it adds a challenge to the game, which is something you don't see too much anymore in terms of games.
Yeah.
Like sure you'll see it like in like Dark Souls and whatnot, but
the thing is that it's so fucking annoying for the people really that it is that way, because the reason why is they can't have a harder normal is because people feel ashamed to choose easy mode. They're like they're afraid to, like, what should be the normal now is what easy used to be. Instead of instead we have normal be easy, so, and the people that want to play the game like harder difficulty just do that. But the problem is when they choose the harder difficulty, usually they're like many of the games aren't really good with harder difficulties. Like it's not balanced correctly, and I hate that. I think for Left 4 Dead is one that comes to mind directly for me, because they just put more health in everything, and that's not how you're supposed to do it. You shouldn't just add more health. But I wanted, if I choose a harder difficulty, I want more mobs, and it's funny because one of the times I played Left 4 Dead with my friend, we one of the um, parts of one map suddenly broke, and it just flooded with zombies. It just continued flooded. It wasn't it just continually just I think we had 500 kills each by the end of that, and that's almost what you have total in the whole game. And we just it never ended. You just had to and we had a blast with that. It was so much fun because it was such a challenge compared to anything else that we used to, because even if we put it on harder difficulties, it's not going to be more zombies. It's just going to be you take more damage from zombies, or they have more health.
Exactly. But and in terms of Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead, I can see why it's a really good game to a lot of people, especially if you have people to play with.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into Left 4 Dead for myself because, again, it's one of those games that's good for co-op.
Yeah.
But you had no one else to play with.
Yeah, the AI isn't good enough if you're by yourself.
Yeah. And even when it comes to multiplayer games, it adds a whole new experience to the game. When it comes to DayZ, I have over 300 hours in that game.
Yeah.
And probably maybe an hour or two I played the game by myself.
Yeah.
But playing the game with Nate and Ram and other people, it adds a whole new experience to the game itself.
Especially a survival game like that, since it's not really also finished. Then of course it's if you don't play it with other people, it's going to be you play it by yourself for a while. Then you just it's not also if you live streaming it, it's not fun for people watching, because Nate was playing by himself yesterday, and he was trying to find deer to shoot, and he didn't find any of it, and I was I was the only one left in the stream after a while.
And even when it comes to DayZ streams, in some ways it really depends on who you're watching, because when it comes to a game like DayZ, in my opinion, it's not fun to watch a streamer that's playing DayZ who's just playing by himself.
Yeah.
I feel like we have the best DayZ streams when we have multiple people in the call. For example, when it's Nate, Ram, and myself, or when I used to watch Nate before I even got a rig, when Nate and Ram were playing together, I had a lot of fun watching them then.
Yeah.
Or, Nate, Anthony, myself, Ram.
Yeah.
Because it adds a whole new experience to the game. It adds a whole new experience to the stream.
Yeah.
Because you have four guys, they're joking around, they're having fun. Opposed to
co-op stuff is usually really fun to watch. That's why I feel now, for instance, Anthony has problem. He can't play the Arena Commander for Star Citizen, and if the game ends up being what everyone wants it to be, or anything close to it, then that game is going to blow up. So I want to enjoy it, but I also want to capitulate on the people that's so fucking interesting in it, and when people attracting to everything like that, because if that blows up and you're one of the first that do really good content with it, you will blow up as well, and all that tactics.
Yeah, and even with co-op, one thing too. I can't wait for Star Citizen to come out, because I think that's going to be really cool. I really hope they have something that prevents people from, stream sniping or stream killing people.
Yeah.
Because, you'll get this from Nate. Nate will literally have sometimes, 10 people watching his stream, but nobody tries to stream snipe him.
Yeah.
You'll have 5 people watching my stream, and people try to stream snipe me. Hey, Mike Vida, who the hell is that? It's yeah, it's me. I was gonna stream snipe you, but I decided to spare you. I'm holy shit, dude. And I'm why do these people try to kill me for? What have I done?
That's why you almost I hope you don't have to put in a delay, but you almost have to do it. But then again, you you could just in a game like that, people just watch. Okay, they're like if people well versed in it, they're roughly around that area, and
Huh?
we should try and like get all our people together and like go to that area, and then suddenly 3 minutes later, and we are
Yep.
just surrounded by like ships. But then again,
Like,
you get a lot of bounties if you do stuff like that in the game.
yeah, yeah. I'm really like for Star Citizen 2. I'm really excited for like, cause like we talked about, like you talked about having your own, I think, racing, your own stadium for like racing,
Yeah, that would be.
and like I want to own a bar, my own bar.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool.
yeah,
And even like getting like okay, like hiring people, like okay, hire bartenders. Like I think the possibilities of Star Citizen is so endless,
yeah,
and I hope the people who are making Star Citizen live up to every expectation that everyone has,
yeah,
because it is endless. Like
Yeah.
it could literally be a Mass Effect, Star Wars, sci-fi MMO.
yeah,
You can do like a game that lets you do everything. Like I really hope that happens. Like
yeah, yeah.
nothing
But
like
they're still like on release. They say like they're still reasonable what they can do so far, but they still
Yeah.
know that like they have a vast amount of potential, and if they like if people see that, and when people are gonna pledge in when they like start showing more, like people can get into alpha and beta and that sort of stuff, it can just escalate and they can get so much money before it's even like
Yeah.
that's why people like early access or and like stuff like already people are so wanting this to be great. So yeah,
even like I can see like a game like Star Citizen being as impactful as when EverQuest first came out, because I think that was one of the first ever MMO games for PC.
yeah,
Like I can see like Star Citizen living up to that potential, like the next big thing, like how Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 and 2
yeah,
like solidify the first person multiplayer games. Like I can see like Star Citizen leaving an impact in the history books
Yeah.
as the first MMO that you can do everything on. The graphics are amazing, the best online community,
yeah. That's what
best
I already,
everything.
yeah, that's where they're pushing computers to go, like everyone to keep going to the next level, and that's what I like about it. They keep on like pushing with this game. If this game manages it, it's going to blow everyone else out of the water. Just playing through the arena commander, it looks so fucking beautiful. Just playing it,
Yeah.
and sure, it's like the like how the ship handles and that sort of stuff is a little bit
Yeah.
like weird or something like that. But I mean, what can you expect? Like, it's early on, and it's just the arena commander. So
Yeah. As long as they don't do like a monthly fee for the game, I will definitely get it. I mean, I'll understand the game is going to cost like 40 or $50 to buy. Like I'll understand, because I mean, for $50 you're going to get a whole lot. You're going to get a whole lot of shit in that game.
yeah. So if you
Like you're literally like
if you want to buy into the game, you just have to pledge for a ship. So if you pledge for the cheapest one, you get like certain tiers, and I don't remember exactly everything, but I mean, you get the like the squadron commander
yeah.
game, and then you
Yep.
also get like into like the MMO part of it as well, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah, because for my donation, I donated. I think I donated $75 to Star Citizen for the Avenger shit, which I thought looked
Nice.
pretty badass.
Nice.
But in terms of that, like, I think honestly, for like anyone who has not pledged, they should. Or if the game comes out, I think everyone should buy it.
Yeah.
Just especially on the possibilities you can do in terms of what I really hope that Star Citizen accomplishes, like for the impact they could leave in terms of gaming, is what I hope every single developer hopes to strive for.
Yeah, and there are
That's-
few companies that are that way. I mean, like CD Projekt Red, the ones that are doing the Witcher games, they're like, we don't care about like if you need to buy a computer to play the new computer play this game, then you have to do that. We're like, we're gonna make it as beautiful and as good as possible, and then we're not gonna like budge for anything and be like, oh, we have to tone down the game so that more people, they're like gonna force people to get better computers or whatever, or you just have to play it on lower settings or whatever it is.
Yeah, and even when it comes to like, I mean, for some games out there, like look for when it comes to PC gaming, like for a long time before I even got a rig, like I've always wanted to get it, but I never found that one game that made me pull the trigger to buy a gaming PC until I watched Nate play DayZ.
Yeah.
Like the possibilities of what you can do with DayZ are endless. Similar to Star Citizen, but it's a whole lot more. Like Star Citizen, you have a whole bunch of worlds. DayZ, you just have this one state or this one country that you're in. But in terms of what DayZ can do, like again, like when it comes to MMO, zombie apocalypse, it's different every time, and it's gonna be the same exact thing with Star Citizen. Like the interaction with people it's gonna be different every single time. Like when Nate and I play DayZ, we'll approach this one guy who's trying to be friendly.
Yeah.
Or we approach this one guy, we shoot his legs, and he calls us an effing bitch or something along those lines.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you're real cool, man. You're real cool. You're a faggot." Like stuff like that. You never know what you're gonna get, and I think from that, just from watching Nate and Ram play that, and Anthony, like that's what got me to get a gaming rig. And if I didn't get a gaming rig because of DayZ, I probably would have gotten it later on because of Star Citizen.
Yeah,
the possibilities you can do.
Yeah, I got the new rig because I wanted to record stuff. I wanted to like edit stuff on my computer and that sort of stuff. And I never regretted it. And now I have done my second upgrade. Just have to get my new CPU, and then I'm all set.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking maybe getting SSD as well to speed up loading screens and that sort of stuff.
I thought about doing that too. The problem is I don't know how to install one. Oh man, I want to get all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to get this, and maybe I'll get that graphics card later on. But if I got all this stuff, then how do I install it? But in terms of what
I don't think it's going to. I mean, I think it's SSD. I'm thinking is probably quite easy. Most of the stuff isn't that hard. It's just you have to be careful and not break something. That's also I got a little bit unlucky that the biggest problem was my chassis broke. And so it's sometimes hard to know what's the stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah, and speaking of computers and rigs and whatnot, I can definitely see Star Citizen 2. For Star Citizen the game, I can see that being a reason for a lot of people upgrading their PCs or even going into PC gaming.
Just when Squadron 42 is it a single player game. Just when that comes out and people get to play that, get the feel of it and just having a solid game.
There is so many aside from Star Citizen in general, there are so many reasons on why a lot of people should go towards PC gaming. And for me, I've been a console gamer throughout my entire life. Ever since, I was in kindergarten, I owned a Game Boy. And then I got an N64. And just recently in 2014, I recently got a gaming rig, and I realized how awesome they really are.
Yeah.
The games you can get, dude, are so cheap.
Yeah.
I'm in, when I make signs for my Best Buy and whatnot, I feel so bad for the console gamers because they have to pay the least amount of money they have to pay for a game is $20.
Yeah.
For something that's been out for 5 years. And you see a game like BioShock Infinite, which was a true Game of the Year contender for last year for 20. I think it was 2013.
Yeah.
And the game itself is on sale or was on sale on Steam for $7.49.
Yeah.
You can't. There's nothing better than that. Like some people may complain, like, oh, it's too expensive to get a gaming rig. But you know what? Even though it might be a little bit expensive to get a really good gaming rig, it adds up in the end when it comes to buying games.
Yeah. I think the fact that Steam has gotten as big as it has gotten has made me want to like not only them, like you have GOG, you have all this stuff. That's the reason why I also wanted to have a gaming rig again, because a couple of years ago I would have like, I don't think it's good enough, like I wouldn't have like committed to getting like fully fledged gaming rig and that sort of stuff, just because I think at that point you like the options on the like internet and getting cheaper games and that sort of stuff wasn't good enough. So, but because I've been console gaming, then got a PC and played some games on PC, gone back to console, got a new PC, played a lot on PC again. Like I've been back and forth all the time, but So, but now I think PC is the best, but because also with Steam is good that you don't have to like the installing part is much easier now, because I always hated like installing stuff. I still have issue with like always like games not working, because I always ends up like it has one problem, I end up running into that problem. That's the only issue I still have, because mostly like when it comes to consoles you will get the game and then it will like work as it intended. The game can be broken, but it should work as it intended to be.
Yeah.
So it may intended to be broken, and yeah.
Yeah, like one problem I had was Steam. Like the only game I really had a problem with on Steam was Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, because I wanted to do like a Star Wars type playthrough for quite a while, like do like a marathon one day.
Yeah.
And like even though Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 wasn't the greatest game out there, I still wanted to try it and see how it is.
Yeah.
And no matter what I did, I could not get the game to work, and it would always crash within the first 10 seconds of loading it up.
I like the first one.
The first one was really good. I liked.
Yeah.
Like some people.
Did you play the Knights of Old Republic 1 and 2?
I didn't, but I did in fact buy it on Steam, so I could play it anytime.
Yeah, I mean, you should really do a playthrough of both of them, because they're like, I would say that's my favorite Star Wars. I also like both of the Jedi Academy games.
Oh yeah,
those are really good, 1 and 2.
Yeah, like I got I think it was a sale on
They have like a Star Wars bundle. I never really got for it, because unless I saw it's a sale, then I would maybe get it. But
yeah, I bought I think it was a Star Wars bundle on Steam a while back.
Yeah, they still have it, but it's not on sale anymore, and it's really expensive. So I would like to do it.
It was $100, I think, and then it dropped down to 34. And I already had a Steam wallet full of $100. I'm like, you know what? Why not? And I got like almost every single Star Wars game for PC.
Yeah.
Including Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and Star Wars Force Unleashed, Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast, all those games. And one day I'll probably play them. I just need to find time. And plus, there's a million other games I want to play. But at the same time, I would rather play those games, for like YouTube or Twitch or something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, okay, if I play this game without even recording my experience of it, it's like I just wasted like an opportunity to entertain somebody.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to see me play this game. So it's very hard most of the time. Because I'm like, I have the mentality like, okay, if I'm gonna play this, I have to record it.
Mm.
Like I must record myself playing this game, because what if something big happens and I didn't get it recorded, or I can't put it on YouTube? So like when it comes to like the only thing like how Borderlands 2 is, like I don't see the desire to record that game and put it on YouTube, but I can just stream it of me just screwing around and shooting some things up and having fun.
Yeah.
And doing some side quests.
Yeah, like Star Wars Knights of Old Republic, the first one I played 3 or 4 times, and the second one I think I played twice.
Yeah.
I debated whether or not I maybe should play it again for memory purpose. Then I was thinking I probably would remember like everything, so I don't know how like good that would be.
Yeah. But I mean, the best playthroughs, I think anyway, like even though Let's Plays gets a bad rap sometimes on YouTube, like, oh, it's been overdone, everyone does it. But I think the reason why a lot of people like to do Let's Plays on YouTube is for the fact that a lot of people enjoy playing games and they just want to record their own experiences of playing those games. Like the reason why, like I made a second channel of my own a while back is because when I used to play wrestling games like all the time,
Yeah.
I realized like I'll play like wrestling games all the time, and then I'll play like an actual video game.
Yeah.
I realized how bad I was because I was playing, a regular video game.
Yeah.
Because when you devote yourself to one genre all the time,
Yeah.
you get less and less and less skilled at playing other different types of genre games. It's like playing FIFA online. While FIFA is a really good, fun game, it's probably one of the best sports games that has been out for the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
But if you play that game most of the time, and then you try playing like Call of Duty, you're gonna get demolished like right away.
Yeah.
And I used to play wrestling games like all the time, and then I would go and play like what game was it? I would play like Battlefield, and I'm like, well, I'm really terrible. Like I used to be decent at this game, but I'm really terrible.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of Let's Plays, I think it's pretty good for a lot of people. Like, okay, like I want to record my experiences, play this game, and see if everyone else enjoys it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
so,
Pokemon.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to we are closing the wrapping up part of it all, being going for a good recording of 1:17. So it's close to
geez.
the longest ones I ever did. So
Damn.
yeah, that's
Breaking
it's
records.
nice. Just like that's why I enjoy doing like podcast with like other people and so stuff like that, because like it's just like recording conversation and that sort of stuff. So do you want to plug your stuff so that the people can know where you're at? If
Alrighty. First I'd like to plug would be Mark Crown himself, even though you're pretty much watching his video right now on his channel.
yes.
Being
Well, I mean, it can be like one of your people, like that one single people that comes over from. I like checked. You were the low, like you're with Lambent, on his one.
Oh yeah.
Was the lowest viewed one. I was like, it's kind of sad. Like you have so many subscribers, and they don't care.
That's what I realized, dude. Like when I was on Caesar's podcast and Lambett's podcast, and I saw how many people watched my part in it compared to everyone else's, I got really pissed off.
Yeah.
Like I made a video dedicating to Caesar.
Yeah.
To watch his podcast. I made a video dedicating to Lambert to watch his podcast.
Yeah.
And there's only one person out of like 1,600 that actually watched it. And I'm sure he's probably watching this right now. His name is Hakeem Bowman, and I do thank him for watching
Hakeem
all this stuff. He is, and I'm like, I don't want to say like you guys are like morons, because they're not. But like, come on, like if you support me, at least support my friends and the people I view as entertaining. Like you're entertaining, Nate's entertaining, Lambert's entertaining, and Caesar's entertaining as well. So and the reason why I like doing interviews and podcasts and things like that, because it helps promote both parties involved.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the reasons why I like being on Caesar's podcast or your podcast is like, all right, maybe someone from my channel can help other channels out too.
Yeah.
Or someone from your channel can come and watch my stuff.
Yeah.
And what I realized from Caesar's channel that I had more of his pleasers come to my channel than my people coming to his channel.
Yeah.
And that made me so mad because like it felt like like I didn't help benefit this guy at all.
Yeah. Caesar's
But
core people are just so fantastic. I mean, like.
I wish I had Caesar's fans.
Yeah.
Like I wish I could just take all of Caesar's fans and put them on my channel and just keep them.
Yeah.
Like I'll buy Caesar's subscribers if possible. Like, hey,
Yeah.
$5 for you, buddy, if you watch this channel. But nonetheless, for anyone who's watching this right now, if you're not subscribed to Story of Crown, definitely subscribe to him. He's an amazing dude, very entertaining guy indeed, and possibly or the best Ramborgian in town. Sorry,
Yeah.
Caesar.
Yeah,
But in terms of like,
I've been watching like I watched almost every single show live, so
Yeah.
that's why I get to like people say, "Oh, that's dedication." Yes, I've noticed that is like, it's like
And
doing that.
yeah, and another thing too, I got another shout out to Mark that he actually I would say he helped me get on the show this past week. I think it was last week. It was.
Yeah, I like it's such sad. Rex wanted to get on as well, and he didn't get on. He was so fucking pissed. I was like,
much time left.
yeah, and afterwards he sent Jan a tweet saying that he was really sad that like he could treat him that way and that sort of stuff. I'm like, damn.
Like, oh man, like I like Rex. I had him on my show, but geez, like when he'd say like Vida, I don't got much time left. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, are you like dying or something? Like, oh man, but nonetheless, from that, I do thank Mark once again for having me on the show, for helping me get on the show. John Reynolds Presents his channel this past week,
Yes.
and to plug my own stuff. If you are a fan of, if you're a fan of wrestling content, if you're a fan of wrestling podcasts, if you're a fan of a 20-year-old guy who has the voice of a 14-year-old, you may like my stuff. You may like my channel. You may like the content I provide.
But you have a really good voice for doing internet or radio or like just talking purposes. Like,
thank you, man.
I know, like my voice. Like I know a lot of people like it's like my voice, but I also know that unfortunately a lot of people that like get their first impressions listening to me like have sometimes a hard step in getting used to like a way I talk and then just leave instead. So I mean, I would wish I had like a better suited like talking stuff. I still like love everyone that's watching, but for getting like more people, like you almost have to have that sort of voice or have some content that like gets you, blows everyone's mind or something like that.
Yeah, and even then, I think anyway that it'll just get better as you keep going with YouTubing and podcasting and whatnot. That's the way I see it. For me, like you're gonna hear this for the first time on Mark's, Crowncast, Story of Crown. I have a speech problem, and I've had this ever since I was 4 years old.
Okay.
So like when I stummer or I stutter and so on, it's because like that disorder of mine, sometimes creeps itself.
I actually would say that I almost think that I have something similar because I can't speak like people like think, oh, it's just because it's English that you like that I stutter sometimes. I do that in Swedish as well, and I've always done so. I think I have something similar to that as well because I can't. So I really have to think long and hard if I'm gonna need to speak fluently, or I'm just gonna like I can't just keep talking like this and just I'm just gonna stutter sometimes.
I mean, it happens, man, and sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's not, and the only way you can overcome it is by thinking a little bit about what you're gonna say first.
And taking pauses. That's something like. I've always like tried to talk fast or just tried to talk all the time, but I mean it's okay doing pauses or just pausing in the middle or like just to get your thoughts in so that you like maybe don't end up being stuttering or just whatever it is you were about to say.
Yeah,
And aside from like the whole issues and things like that involving speech, uh, most of the time when it comes to like doing podcasts or doing wrestling shows, I'm pretty much on point. There are some times when I make a few mistakes and like I go, "Bleh, bleh." God, I sound like a retard or whatever. Like I just make fun of myself when I do mess up
Yeah.
because again, it makes me feel a little bit better, makes everyone else laugh and whatnot. And it's all cool.
Yeah.
But in terms of that, if you're a fan of wrestling in general, if you're a fan of MMA, which I'm trying to get into for my UFC stuff, you may be interested in what I produce. I'm not a guy on YouTube that heavily like okay like I'm gonna play as this character today. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go against this guy and we're gonna see what happens. Like the things I do on YouTube, like I try making what I do as realistic as possible. So if I'm making a wrestling show, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it an actual wrestling show. Like I'm doing this Ring of Honor universe mode right now for my channel, and I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. Like when I do commentary for matches, I do it like if I'm actually there in the arena commentating the match.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Kenta just hit the go to sleep out of
Yeah.
nowhere right there, and he goes down like a ton of bricks. Like
Yeah.
things like that. Like not like, okay, I'm gonna hit him with a GTS. Ooh, got him.
Yeah.
Pin. Like I try my best to add make everything alive, not rehearsed or anything like that, which is why I
Yeah.
don't usually follow scripts. But I have that's on the Live the Vida channel if you're interested in wrestling, or if you're interested in video game content, playthroughs, gameplay videos and whatnot. You might be interested in LTV gaming. YouTube.com/LTV gaming. I did a recent play.
It will be in the link below as well. So.
And just one more thing, if you for me when it comes to video games in general for YouTube, I don't play every single new release that's out there. When I usually play games for YouTube, I usually play games that I feel strongly about that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
The perfect game that I if anyone's watching this, I really hope you guys watch this is Murdered Soul Suspect. I feel as a story, it's probably one of the best of this year. And it's much more entertaining than Watch Dogs, which I have no problem with Watch Dogs. But in terms of a story that actually makes sense and that captivates you and makes you excited and makes you want to keep playing the game to know more and more about what happens, Murdered Soul Suspect is probably the best game for that. And IGN gave it a 5.5 out of 10, which I think they're a bunch of sour pussies for that. The game is really good. I hope everyone watches that if they're watching this. Yeah. And if you wish to, follow me on Twitter, see my ramblings, see me bitch and complain about some things and about what's going on in my life, my Twitter handle is @LongLiveTheVita. Again, long, like Long John Silver's, live, like live life, the Vita, and my last name, Vida. There you go.
Simple as that.
Yep.
So, I want to thank everyone for listening through this whole thing. I think I'm not certain, but I almost feel like this is the longest one Crown show I've ever done. So, but I mean, I can't stop it. Like it's how to go with the flow, and if we have more to say, then I'm gonna say it. So that's what I enjoy about this stuff. People enjoy listening to it as well because it's just fun, waste of time, and that's maybe my new slogan.
Breaking records on the Crowncast.
Yes. I wish I could still be named Crowncast. I'm still calling it, like everyone's still calling it Crowncast, and because it was that for the longest time. But unfortunately, someone else already has the name, which didn't even cross my mind. Like I don't know. I think me and Doug were supposed when we're gonna team up and have it. He was supposed to be my co-host, and when we was teaming up, he went to look if someone else had already that name, and apparently someone already had, and so that was an interesting thing. So yeah, thank you all for watching / listening. You can find me on Twitter at the Story of Crown. I took away the in the end. You can find it in the link below as well. And I hopefully get the sketch done that I wanted to do, but I like a bit of bind since one of my external hard drives where I used to keep all my videos died. So
Yeah, shit.
so that is a little bit of a problem. So I just have to come up with like more space on my computer to have it on there instead. So, but I will try and do it this weekend because I'm home alone and stuff like that. So I have the whole place for myself. So it shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, I think that's about it for stuff. I also might do a return to cooking this weekend. Since I'm home alone, I'm going to cook by myself, so I might just try and do something crazy. And because those episodes are, I still think it's the best thing I've ever done on my channel, and if you haven't seen it, you should check it out because they're so just beautiful. So thank you all for listening, and I will see you guys another time. Bye.
Peace.